Okay, this video is basically just a compilation of things people say on the internet that piss me off. And the reason they piss me off is because these fitness and nutrition myths prevent a lot of people from reaching their goals. And I actually want you to succeed on your fitness journey, weight loss journey, whatever. So here are 5 myths that are keeping you stuck, debunked, so that you can actually reach your goals. By the way, do you guys like my new haircut? Myth number 1, and this is mostly for women. Lifting weights makes you bulky. Do Pilates instead so you could get toned. Now hear me out, because I feel like you've probably heard the lifting weights makes you bulky thing before, but I'm about to say something that's kind of unconventional. It's not the weights that are making you bulky, it's the combination of lifting weights and eating in a calorie surplus at the same time. Honestly, I used to look kind of bulky. I was carrying some extra weight. I weighed about 20 pounds more than I do now. I lost 20 pounds this year. And I've been lifting more or less the same amount of weight, and I look more toned and lean. But this whole time, I've still been lifting heavy and I don't do Pilates. So if you exclusively do Pilates and you're scared to touch the heavy weights because you think it'll make you look bulky, that is simply just not true. I mean, Pilates is great for core strength and mobility. So if that's your thing, go for it. I'm not really Pilates girly. I prefer like more fast-paced workout classes, like HIIT classes. Sorry if that makes me a pick-me. Pilates is not a magical toning workout. If you do Pilates and you eat in a calorie surplus, you will still look bulky. So instead of being afraid of lifting heavy weights, think of them as a tool. You build the shape through training and then you reveal it through nutrition. Myth number 2 is that you have to eat clean ingredients in order to lose weight. I've said this on here a million times, but losing weight means burning more calories than you consume. So if you're eating in a calorie surplus by eating junk, but then you switch to eating clean, but you're still eating the same amount of calories and you don't change your movement or add exercise, you're still gonna be in a calorie surplus. There's this misconception that you're supposed to cut out like bad foods like pizza, cake, cookies, and then replace them with clean foods like nuts and seeds in order to lose weight. Like I guess foods with less chemicals or something like that, but that's just simply not the case. Like that is a myth. Of course, we need to be eating mostly whole foods, eating our fruits and vegetables, getting our micronutrients in order to stay healthy. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but essentially you can eat whatever you want to lose weight as long as it fits into your macros. It's frustrating because misinformation like this makes people think that they have to cut out all their favorite foods in order to lose weight and spend money on like clean, organic ingredients. And it just makes weight loss less accessible. And it just means that less people are gonna attempt it. Not to mention, it just makes it way less fun. I have hundreds of recipes on my channel, like pizza, cookies, cake, pasta, etc., that are macro friendly. So they're high in protein, low in calories, so you could still eat your favorite foods while reaching your fitness goals. Myth number 3, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. If you're not hungry in the morning, then don't eat in the morning. You don't have to force feed yourself when you're not hungry just because you heard somewhere on the internet that you have to eat within 1 hour of waking up. That's not true. Meal timing does not matter when it comes to losing weight, okay? If you wanna aim to eat 2,000 calories per day and you decide to eat those in 3 larger meals versus 6 smaller meals, it's the same number of calories in a day. Also, eating late at night isn't gonna make you fat either. I don't know where we came up with that. I think the reason a lot of people think this is because late night eating is associated with like drunk eating or like standing in front of our fridge and binge eating, and just the idea of like eating more calories late at night on top of the breakfast, lunch, and dinner that we already ate. But let's say you just didn't eat enough calories that day, or you're a student and you need to eat your meals late at night, or you're a night shift worker, like that's totally fine. You can eat at night to get your calories in. A popular diet that you may have heard of, it's called intermittent fasting. A lot of people do this without even intending to if they don't like to eat breakfast. So they'll just like skip breakfast and they'll eat their first meal at noon, and then maybe they'll stop eating at like 7 or 8. If it works for you, then go for it. Now, when meal timing actually does matter is for your workouts. So you wanna make sure you fuel your body and actually have enough energy for your workout so you're not like starving during the workout. If you work out first thing in the morning, I know you probably won't wanna eat before, like that's what I do. I typically work out first thing in the morning. I typically don't eat before. What I usually do is I eat a later dinner. So I eat my dinner around like 8:30 p.m., which I know might sound like strange to some people, but that really helps me not be hungry in the morning. I find if I eat an earlier dinner at like 6 or 6:30, I end up waking up hungry. But then with that, I'll end up just eating something small before I work out, like maybe half a banana or like half a protein bar or something. Let's say you're working out in the afternoon or evening. What I would try to do is eat something small, like an hour before the workout, and then within an hour of the workout afterwards, eating your meal. But again, this is just simply for like energy purposes. It doesn't need to be followed to an exact science every single time. Myth number 4 is that you can't drink alcohol and lose weight. And you guys know how I feel about this one. Lots of creators on here will tell you that you can't drink alcohol and lose weight, or to like give up alcohol for that period of time that you're gonna be in a deficit. I just don't think this is true. Personally, I don't think you need to give up alcohol entirely in order to lose weight. You just need to be smart about it. In fact, I think that this kind of messaging will deter a lot of young people from wanting to lose weight, because if they hear that they can't drink alcohol, then they might think like, oh, I can't have fun with my friends for like several months, I'm just not gonna even attempt this. Not to say that you can't have fun without alcohol, like I'm definitely not saying that, but you know what I mean. I lost 20 pounds this year while still drinking alcohol, so it can definitely be done. I actually did a whole video on this, which I'll link up here, but just in case you don't wanna click out, I'll kind of summarize the points in that video. Knowing when the juice is worth the squeeze is important. So picking the nights out where it's actually worth it to drink versus skipping on drinking on the nights where you're like, okay, I don't need to drink on this particular night. For example, let's say one particular weekend, you have your best friend's birthday on the Saturday night, and then Friday night, your friends are having a board game night and some people are drinking a few beers. Like, you can skip out on the beers during the board game night and just drink a Coke Zero or something. And then for your friend's birthday, you can drink alcohol that night. Or if you go out for dinner with your friend on a random Wednesday and your friend is having a couple cocktails with dinner, like, you can skip out on the cocktails and just have like a Coke Zero or water. If you know that like you have plans that weekend, like you have plans to go to a winery, or like it's another friend's birthday, or just something where you're like, hey, I'm gonna be going to like multiple bars or a club and like I wanna have a few drinks. Also, work smarter, not harder. Like if your goal is just to get a buzz, you can do this with a 90-calorie vodka soda or vodka Diet Coke or 100-calorie White Claw. You don't need to have like a Long Island iced tea or like a margarita, as much as I love spicy margaritas. Make sure to eat dinner before you go out so that you don't binge on drunk food later in the night and eat like a day's worth of calories in one sitting. Because oftentimes it's not the alcohol that's the culprit to weight gain, it's what comes after. Also, you can definitely implement calorie cycling, which in short means eating less calories throughout the week in order to bank more calories for the weekend, or like some variation of this. Again, I go into more details in that video that I linked, but this is one of my favorite myths to debunk. But I will say, like, obviously, if you don't like drinking alcohol, or if you're like, hey, I can easily give it up for a handful of months, like I have no problems with that, then do it, because it'll make your life a whole lot easier. And last myth, myth number 5. Actually, this one might be my favorite one to debunk. Myth number 5 is that tracking calories is disordered. You'll see a lot of other creators on here preaching intuitive eating over calorie or macro tracking. We're often told that tracking calories in order to lose weight is disordered, which isn't necessarily true at all. Restricting by eating way too few calories for your height, age, weight, activity level, or eating in a deficit for a very, very prolonged period of time, or over-exercising, like those things are considered disordered. But using literal math, like the laws of thermodynamics, to track your macros and lose weight, like that is not disordered. That is smart. I talk about this more on one of my other videos, which I'll link here. But there are certain scenarios where people can lose weight without tracking macros, and certain scenarios where I think it's best to track. For example, if you have a lot of weight to lose, like you're very overweight or obese, and you have a lot of bad habits, like changing certain bad habits will move the needle. Like for example, if you eat an entire tub of ice cream every night, or like a crumble cookie, or you have like half a bottle of wine with dinner every night, like if you cut those things out, or even cut like one of those bad habits out, you will lose weight without having to track macros. Or not even cutting them out, but like replacing a tub of Ben and Jerry's with like one of my 200-calorie Ninja Creamy Pines, like using ritual-based substitution, which again, I talk about in one of my other videos, to keep that ritual, but replace it with something healthier. Another thing is, if you don't currently exercise, and you are willing to implement exercise, but then keep like your calories the same, you'll lose weight automatically. Like if you are completely sedentary, you work a desk job, whatever, and then you decide to start weightlifting 3 days a week and then also go on a 30-minute walk every day and then keep your diet the same, like you will lose weight. Or if you already eat like balanced home cooked meals, but you struggle with portion control, like you always go for second helpings, so you're eating like twice the amount of calories at dinner that you should be, and then you're willing to like stop doing that and just eat one portion, you will automatically lose weight without tracking that way. Now on the flip side, if you don't have a lot of weight to lose, like if you're just trying to lose 10 pounds, then tracking macros is the best thing to do because you want to get things done efficiently and effectively. Like if you've tried keto, Whole30, Weight Watchers, and like the only thing you haven't done is track macros, you should probably try that because it will work for you way better than those other diets. For a lot of people, that sense of structure actually reduces a lot of stress and anxiety around food, because if you hit your calories that day, you know that you're on track to losing weight and reaching your goals, versus trusting your body to stick to its hunger cues that day and hoping for the best. Or like eating slabs of cheese and meat and like hoping your body is gonna go into ketosis or whatever that is. And yeah, those are all the tips I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then I'm gonna link another one up here that talks about alcohol and weight loss. So be sure to watch that next. And please be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, as it really helps the channel, and I post new videos every week. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.